Hello and welcome to Enterprising Entrepreneurs. I'm Sanjay Pinto. Now, law is arguably one of the highest paid professions in India. At least much later, what starts, they say, as a trickle becomes a torrent. So imagine a young graduate straight out of the National Law School in Bangalore, not with a grandfather or a godfather, but with a father himself who was highly successful in the profession, one of the leading lights in the Madras High Court, actually not taking that beaten track, not joining his father as a junior, but setting off entirely on his own to start a website, vakilsearch.com. Welcome to the show, Rishikesh Datar.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Tell me, why have you not taken the most predictable route of joining your dad? Because most people say that law is something that when you have somebody in the family, you inherit their practice and go on to add to the millions.
Well, there are a couple of reasons. First, the law is a sector of the Indian economy which is ripe for innovation. Because you find that in the legal sector especially, there is a lot of demand from people who are desperate for some legal service or the other, especially in the business sector, because a lot of businesses are coming up. The Indian economy is taking off in a big way, and more than anything else, people need legal services. And they find it difficult to get access to reliable and quality legal services conveniently and at affordable prices. So there is this need which I saw while at National Law School, and which a lot of businesses, when I interacted with their founders, with their entrepreneurs, I realized that people needed legal service.
But wouldn't it have been much easier for you to join your father's lucrative practice? Your father is one of the, in the top 10 at least in the Madras High Court, goes to the Supreme Court, a legal luminary, an authority, many say, when it comes to excise, tax. He's written books on taxation, on the constitution, one of the most eminent senior counsels in the Madras High Court. And yet Rishikesh Datar doesn't. Was he disappointed that you didn't want to don the black gown and join his office and start off?
Maybe initially he never mentioned it. He was always very encouraging. Maybe initially he was. But I think now that he's seen the website, seen what we are doing for people, and seen the actual clients coming in who have happy experiences with us, I think he's very happy that we're doing something innovative as well. Okay. I think he's quite happy with the way it's going, and he should be, because it's doing well.
One of the reasons was probably because you had to write the bar exam, and now
when I decided to start vakilsearch.com, I was still in law school. Okay. And at that time, there was no mention of the bar exam. The bar exam is a relatively new concept. There was some rumor that we would have a bar exam, but it hadn't been crystallized at that time. So it wasn't at all because of the bar exam, and we certainly didn't know what would happen to the bar exam when it came to Chennai. So that was certainly not a factor.
So there's a bit of an altruistic bent of mind that you have, because in National Law School, when you're so used to your mergers and acquisitions, the kind of legal research that you do, the mooting, the moot court competitions that you attend, the entire atmosphere there in NLS in Bangalore, it's all about either corporate law or about litigation. Today there are lawyers who make, in India we are told, up to sometimes even 1 crore per appearance. Those fancy figures have not really worked on your mind?
See, with any sector, with any industry, the only numbers that really gain prominence are those of the top 1%, the cream, and certainly there is a lot of money to be made in the legal profession. There's no doubt about that. But to answer your question, this wasn't an altruistic thing entirely. I mean, definitely, like anybody else, we want to do something for people. We want to add value, because whether you're a professional or you're a business person, unless you add value to somebody, you're not really going to go anywhere. So
what are some of the services? When you say add value, yes, you mentioned rental deeds, you mentioned 138 check bounce case. Now, there's plagiarism all over. Today, there are even PhD theses which are plagiarized. Nothing prevents somebody from just coming to you, getting all your models, formats, and then replicating the same. How do you protect your business interests that way?
See, what we are doing in preparing a document or preparing an agreement, we prepare it with the help of affiliated lawyers. So,
you have a panel of lawyers attached to your Vakil Search?
We have a group of lawyers who are affiliated to us, who work for our company, and who...
And they are essentially what, your dad's office and your dad's juniors, or?
No. I mean, I've tapped into my network, being from the National Law School.
Okay.
So there are quite a few very bright, very committed and capable young lawyers who are working with us.
When did you actually pass out of the National Law School?
I passed out of National Law School in 2010.
So 1 year down the line, given your legal pedigree, as it were, been making a couple of lakhs a month. How much are you making now with Vakil Search? I know it's in its nascent stage.
To answer your question again at two levels, one, I wouldn't have been making a couple of lakhs a month.
Has Arvind Datar's son?
See, unless you're good, unless you're adding value in a big way.
The fact that you got into National Law School and completed your course itself shows that you have that basic legal acumen. So you would have done well even in litigation, or if you had joined your dad's office. So making that money wouldn't have been a problem even early on, right?
No, it takes a little bit of confidence that your business will succeed to start any business. And I know how much individuals, small businesses, small and medium businesses and people abroad, NRIs, I know how much they need legal services, and I also know how the internet is penetrating the Indian landscape, and especially with Indians overseas, they use the internet for everything to do they have to do in India. So I started this business with the confidence that there was a demand for legal services which were affordable and conveniently available. So
you believe that the legal services today are not really affordable, and this is an alternative to that?
No, I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that India is a high cost legal economy. There's no doubt about that, especially if you go in for litigation. It's very expensive even for documentation.
You're a beneficiary of the system.
Sorry?
You're a beneficiary of the system.
See, every business which brings in innovation is the beneficiary of a suboptimal system. So to that extent, even we are the beneficiaries of a system, yes. But we are trying
But you never really, even when you joined National Law School, when did this idea first germinate in your mind? Did you really have this desire to sort of not practice but to do something on your own, to not wear that black gown and go and litigate like your dad does?
No, I think it was a work in progress. This idea germinating and taking root, it was a work in progress. I used to frequent the Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore, and there is a lot of thinking on entrepreneurship happening there. And while making a presentation there, this idea came about because some people asked me questions which showed clearly that they needed legal services, and obviously they were all net savvy and they used the internet for everything practically. So yeah, the idea, you could say, took root in the last maybe 2 years of my law school career.
Okay. And initially your dad, when you joined National Law School, you wanted to practice law?
No, in India, unlike in the US, we join college at the age of 17, when most people, I mean, there are few lucky people whose minds are absolutely made up. But I knew that I liked the law. There was no family pressure. I knew I liked the law. I knew I liked what I saw in courts, and I liked the process of, debating a point, the intellectual exercise of debating a point. So I liked the law. But when I went to law school, and over time I realized that there was an even bigger need for simplification, for making the process easier for the common man and for small businesses. And so that's when I decided that I should do something that would simplify the process.
So how do you then prevent this replication?
To answer your question, you cannot prevent replication. You can only tell clients, and our clients are quite confident because we find that clients come back to us to prepare the same document again and again, which we have prepared for them in the past.
Do they do that?
They actually do that.
For instance, a corporate client, let's say somebody, a HR head of a company, and you have a standard contract for services agreement. Okay, once you have that, it almost becomes a template then you just need to weave in the basic details and modify it. Would they keep coming back then to you?
See, the fact that the legal industry, the legal profession is so huge shows that it's not entirely an out of the box solution each time. Even if it's, especially for something like a small business, if they're employing say 5 employees, each employee will have some different need, some different requirement. Someone will want a higher bonus, someone will want a longer leave period, so someone will want more insurance, say workman's compensation, more insurance or more benefits. So even businesses, especially businesses, will want to come back to us again and again, and they do, for what you would call the same document. And because they realize that a legal expert's opinion or a legal expert's view is actually cheaper in the long term.
Okay, how different is let's say somebody going to a lawyer to seek legal advice as opposed to logging on to vakilsearch.com? How different are the two? What is the value add here in your case?
The value add comes at many levels.
Because there you're meeting somebody face to face. It's a credibility of that personal interface with the lawyer and that trust that's built up. Here, it's someone online.
Yeah, I see your question. Now, there are a lot of people who already have lawyers and are happy with them. So they probably may not If they do, it's great, but they may not make the shift
So
to,
what is your
an
target,
online model.
what is your target audience?
But there are also a lot of people who need legal assistance and who don't know where to get it now. There are a lot of people like that. So how do we help them out? How are we different, or how do we make life easier for them? First, we give them access to all the fields of legal knowledge. So for a small business, it's practically impossible to have a team of experts on taxation, on company law, on labor law, on property law, all in one place, unless you're a business the size of, say, the Tatars or Reliance, which are the exceptions, obviously. So for small businesses, they get a panel of experts on pretty much every legal area at a very affordable price. So that's where the legal queries gets answered.
Okay, and this is your team here at work.
This is our team here at work.
Four of you, that's it.
They're a fantastic team.
Okay.
This is the core team which helped build the website. This is Deepak, who is the UI designer, the user interface developer. So if you see a great interface and you find it easy to work with vakilsearch.com, you have Deepak to thank. Santosh is the tech wizard.
Okay.
So he built the back end of the website. So all the experience which customers get with creating a product or asking a query, and the simplicity which this model has, is thanks in a large part to Santosh's inputs and his work. And Hamid has been with us been with Vakil Search from the start. He's one of the founding members who's really helped build the company up. He was with Wipro and he's now joined vakilsearch.com.
So the entrepreneurial bug bit him as well.
The entrepreneurial bug has bit him as well, and it's great for Vakil Search because he's added a lot of value to our company.
Okay. So what does it mean for them? I mean, are they friends of yours who've come together with this platform? How did you actually meet them, and how do these like-minded people come together and do this?
Well, they're friends now. So
how did you source them?
We found, I mean, there are a lot of communities online where people who are interested in technology or using or leveraging technology to help other people. So in one of these communities, when I was building the website, I found Hamid. I mean, I started chatting with Hamid, and I found that he had a keen eye for how to build a great website and to build a great product. So that's how Hamid came on board. And Hamid
how much money did you start with?
I started with a very small amount of seed capital.
What was the seed capital?
So I had about ₹1,00,000 initially, which I invested. I had earned a little bit of money by writing content for people abroad. My parents contribute. They have been very generous with helping me out. So I haven't really felt too cash strapped.
Pocket money plus your own earnings.
Yeah, a lot of help with some
and of course,
money.
I mean, again, the family surname helps, right? I mean, also, like, for instance, all your dad's a part of his library, I'm sure, all your law books and all here, which probably would give a client confidence when they come in.
We don't have too many walk-in clients as of now because we are using the internet to simplify.
But again, for your own research and for your website, that would help.
The thing is that a lot of legal research is now online. So we don't really use books, but you're right. I mean, it's definitely great to have.
I mean, there are several things online where people can log in and get a rental deed, a format of a rental deed or a notice.
And they do.
Who will send? Suppose somebody has to send a notice for a check bounce. Who will send that notice?
So we have a team of affiliated lawyers. Okay. So if we have a client who needs a check bounce legal notice to be sent out.
Okay, so they will.
Then yes, they will contact us. They'll fill out a form, an easy form on the website. And once they fill out that form, we have their information and we use that information to send out a great legal notice for them, a well-crafted legal notice for them.
Okay, so legal made simple, that seems to be the tagline of vakilsearch.com. When we come back after a break, we look into the website and see some of the features and how exactly they operate. Stay tuned.